Welcome back into Wave 3 Listens Live. I'm Michael Vanover filling in for John this week, and we now welcome familiar faces to the program. As I said earlier, Larry Weiss, the owner and president of Elder Advisors. Larry, welcome in.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael.
And right there in the middle box.
John who?
Yeah,
it is Michael.
No. I was about to introduce Steve Langdon.
Langdon is in the house, people.
Yeah, that's right.
And the only company is the people that adore him at his feet. It is Steve Langdon, elder law superstar attorney, Stephen P. Langdon, people. Don't ever doubt me, Stephen P. Langdon.
The energy in here is really good, but it's always good when
it's
Larry's
real,
in the program.
Kentuckian. It is real.
Well, people,
Hi, April.
But a lot of people, of course, that watch this program, Larry, they know about Elder Advisors, but as we always talk about, we have new viewers. So if you could give us a little bit of background on everything Elder Advisors does.
In a nutshell, there's no secret. I love what I do. I have a passion for this. But in a nutshell, what Elder Advisors does is we help families protect assets that otherwise might be lost in a nursing home environment. That's crisis planning. The reality is working with our erstwhile superstar elder law attorney, Stephen P. Langdon, ladies and gentlemen, is we have the ability for husband and wife, if one spouse goes in, we can protect all of the assets. If it's a single person, we can protect half of the assets. That's crisis planning. And of course, we're gearing up for our workshops next week at the Hilton Garden Inn, right off Crittenden Drive, Monday night and Tuesday morning at the Hampton Inn in Clarksville. And at the workshops, when we start, I ask people 3 key questions. And if they're honest with themselves, they don't have to be honest with Steve or myself, but if they're honest with themselves, they're going to fall into one of those 3 categories. Do they have someone in a nursing home or about to go to a nursing home? That's crisis planning. We can help. That's what I just alluded to a moment ago. The second question is, how many people have a loved one at home? They may be doing some rehab, some home health. They're not quite sure what side of the fence they may fall on. They're concerned about maybe a futuristic nursing home issue. That's pre-crisis planning. We can help with that as well. And the third variable is pre-planning. They simply want to do something to get out from under the horror of enduring a nursing home spin-down situation, or they simply want to avoid probate, which is a good segue to Mr. Jim. Gentleman Jim, this guy has a luxurious head of hair. He's 89 years old. I met him yesterday with his daughter, Kim, who doesn't work because she married money. But Mark, the brother, he works every day. But Jim came in, and I was just doing some intake, and of course the attorney, Mr. Lang, will be doing the trust. But they're pre-planning. They want to get ahead of the curve on some of these things. And I met Kim probably 15 years ago when her in-laws passed. We met at the 5th quarter, which is not even here anymore, people. It's down by the airport. When I was walking into, the carpet was sticky. It was really kind of ready to go anyway. But that's how far back I go. Like Steve said, your clients for life. I have a passion for this. You don't need to do this by yourself because we take that stress off your shoulders so you don't go broke in a nursing home. But we almost always need Steve Langdon, superstar elder law attorney, to make that happen.
Yeah, and Steve, I got a couple questions for you, but what made you get into this? I think you have a personal story.
I did. I went through this with a brother of mine, and at the time I was a litigator. I was doing the stuff you see on TV, depositions, trials, those types of legal cases. But I had a brother go through this, and he lost everything. I didn't understand this elder law or the Medicaid or any of it. It's not what I did. But I went through it, got the wrong advice from a lot of people. Tom lost everything, and I did not handle that well, and spent the next year diving full force into the elder law field. And now this is all I do. And I've been doing it for quite a while now. I'm very successful. Just had a great case come back from the Indiana Court of Appeals.
Yay, Steve Langdon,
Absolutely.
baby.
You got to stand up for your clients.
Elder law attorney.
And that's where that litigation really does come in. And it helps. I've done this a long time, over 20 years. And now being able to step in and take those litigation aspects and plug it into the Medicaid and getting benefits for our clients so they're not blowing through $8,000 to $10,000 a month. It's really important, and I love what I do.
And Steve, what are some legal dilemmas that individuals face when they're going through this transition? And then what does a company like Elder Advisors bring to the table in your mind?
What they're so helpful for me in is really, it's the hand-holding. Frankly, if you came to me and asked me, hey, Steve, where's your marriage license? I don't know. I was there. I saw it happen. I participated. But I don't know where it is. And my guess is most gentlemen probably the same way. That's where Elder Advisors comes in, because they really are going to hold your hand. They're going to make sure when we're collecting a life story, if it's a nursing home situation, they're going to make sure that those documents get collected. If we're doing some pre-planning and folks need to go to a bank, or go, if you're in Indiana, go down to Bureau of Motor Vehicles. If you're in Kentucky, go down to clerk's office because your automobiles, they're going to hold your hand. They're going to take you down there. They're going to get these things done for you. I can't do that. I just don't have the time to do that or the resources. that's where Elder Advisors is a godsend. They really are.
Now, Larry, if you could talk about the importance of these workshops. I think it's so great that you educate and you inform and you explain things. So excited to have the workshops back, and a nice huge room as well, right?
Hilton Garden Inn.
That's absolutely
Exit
right.
132 I-65, Crittenden Drive.
But talk to me about why it's so important to really educate and inform
Well, it's
that
important
way.
because Steve actually is the one who gets credit for this, because it is good news, Kentuckiana. It is good news because you don't have to go broke in a nursing home. You don't have to lose your life savings because, you know, otherwise, where everybody from the barbershop law, the beauty shop law is telling you, oh, you know, my Uncle Harry went in, they spent everything, he had to sell the house, sell the car, much like what poor Steve's family endured years ago, because you're getting the wrong information. Maybe well-intentioned, but it is wrong. It is good news, Kentuckiana. It is good news so you don't go broke in a nursing home, because there's also an emotional component. We take that stress off your shoulders because so many people, the 55-year-old daughter is dealing with this. She's dealing with mom at home, dad's in the nursing home. She's got grandkids at home. So we help kind of fill that void so we can take that stress off their shoulders and also kind of take that guilt off their shoulders because they feel so bad with this. They don't have anywhere to turn. We're kind of there to help them navigate through that. And Tim Goebel does a phenomenal job with just the logistics of helping families collect those documents. Otherwise, until you get it, you're not going to get benefits qualified.
Now, Larry, with everything that's going on in the world right now, finances are always so important. And people work hard and they save and they save and they save. And you have to personally just hate to see what happens to some of these people's life savings. Talk about why that's so important to you and to Elder Advisors and how you can really help make sure they don't lose it all.
Well, let's put it in context. The average nursing home bill these days are $7,000 to $8,000 a month. I'm still very blessed. I am very blessed. I also have both of my parents. My dad's 84, mom is 82. When they bought their first house in 1960, it was for $6,000 for their house.
Right.
So people are going through that now more every month. And it doesn't have to happen. It's like Steve has said so many times as our superstar elder law attorney, Stephen P. Langdon, people. Did I say it right, Steve?
Yeah, it was. Very
Okay.
nice.
All right. Okay. Carolyn, we love your boy. He's a great guy. But anyway, Steve makes use of those special exceptions that allow you to make use of the rules that are out there. This really isn't science. You know, when people come out to the workshop, oftentimes we'll invite people to come in for a free consultation. I'll send them home with my book, Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home, because I want you to have this information. You just need to be able to disseminate it and understand the nuances of how it works using those special exceptions that Steve Langdon, elder law superstar attorney, uses every day.
And that's really the tough part, is just making sure that the state actually does what they're supposed to do, that the state follows their own rules.
Right.
I mean, that's really where I come in, is just hold them to the fire, make sure that they're following the rules they're supposed to follow, and just taking advantage of the rules. It's no different than paying your taxes. Try to save as much as you can, but you follow the rules, you pay what you're supposed to.
And for me, when I'm meeting with clients, and this is what I'll talk about in the workshop, I say, look, you know, there's attorneys out there that do a lot of different things, but I really like the idea of being able to refer people to an attorney who is a trial attorney, a litigator, both sides of the river, Indiana, Kentucky, federal and state court, that does not take no for an answer, because it's not easy. You know, I'll declare we protect all the assets for a husband and wife or a single person half. We need Steve Langdon, elder law superstar attorney, to make that happen, because he does not take no for an answer. He just came off a great win. Was it Indiana Circuit Court?
Court of Appeals, Indiana Court of Appeals.
He took the state Indiana Medicaid department. Just can you give a real quick overview of that, Steve? Because it's so important with what you bring to the table.
Sure. I mean, you just look. We're not filing until we know that we're going to get approved. That's just the way it is. But you know, if for the state, the easiest answer always is no. That's the easy answer. And so I can't tell you how many clients they'll come to me later and say, look, I've already been denied 2 or 3 times. Well, oftentimes they're denied for improper reasons, and so that was this case. Poor gentleman and his wife denied, had run up, I don't know, I think it was over $50,000 in bills at a nursing home that the state should have been paying. And so we had to take him to court, and eventually ended up at the Indiana Court of Appeals. And the Court of Appeals came back and specifically said, look, state, you got to follow the federal law. Yeah. Mr. Langdon has laid it out. He's correct. This is what you got to do.
Yeah. I read it. It was beautiful, Steve. I did read. I never read that stuff. You know, I don't even read your emails. But that one was good. And that's what people don't fully appreciate, because that's a skill set that you need if you're going to backstop an application to protect yourself so you don't go broke in a nursing home. You always need to have an attorney like Steve Langdon, elder law superstar attorney, make it happen. Because most attorneys simply don't do that. Most attorneys, they process paperwork, give you a checklist, but they don't leave the law office to make that happen.
Now, Larry, I have a question for you, just kind of going off my previous question of people save their life savings and then they lose it all and it's very sad. But people work and they save for their kids and their grandkids.
Sure.
And so my question is it ever too late? Because I feel like that can absolutely be impacted with, better late than ever, right?
Well, it's much like Kim, who, married money. Kim is watching the show today. Hi, Kim. That's not really her name. It's actually Kimberly. But it's a perfect example there where, she saw what happened when the attorney set up a living trust for her in-laws when they both passed in a short amount of time 15 years ago. Remember, we're at the fifth quarter.
Right.
And I was helping with that. So now they see Dad is 89, the guy with the luxurious head of hair. I mean, I want to run my hands through his hair. I mean, the guy's good looking. Okay. And he didn't even have a power of attorney. So I'm like, hey, people, we got to get this going. But to kind of answer your question, Michael, she's like, wait a minute, we've got children. I've got a husband. We don't have anything as well. So they kind of learn by example. They get Dad taken care of. They see how it works. So it does follow that generational line as well. But that's pre-planning. That's question 3 at the workshop. How many people want to simply avoid problems and get ahead of things? That's pre-planning. It's never too late.
That's right. Larry, real quick, if people want to get in contact with your office, how can they do that? And
freeworkshop.com. You can go right now to freeworkshop.com and register for the workshops Monday night, 6 o'clock, or Tuesday, 10 a.m., or they can always call 855-LARRY55 if they need a consultation or talk to myself or one of my staff. But then go right to freeworkshop.com. The landing page will take you there with all the information. Tammy is doing, Michael, in the green room, you said Tammy wouldn't do a very good job today.
I did not say that.
But I have to disagree on live television, Tammy. You're doing a beautiful job, Tammy. You're hitting those panels. They're flipping out. They're turning, looking good.
She always does an incredible job.
She's doing a phenomenal job.
I was shocked. I was shocked she said he said that.
Yeah, I know. Michael, kind of off your game, baby. Feel bad.
I don't even know what they're talking about. We'll be right back on Wave 3 Listens Live. Stay with us.